Hi, good morning. This is Debs and Terry out doing Debs JOB 365, which is jog on breast cancer. Debs is doing 10k every day for 365 days. But you know what? She's doing more or less 10 mile every day. Here we are out in the hills, up at the top of Marsden, local trails, loving life. So, welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast. And here are your hosts, Eddie and Gary. Bye for now. Ta-ra!
George and Lisa watched Big yesterday. Yeah, not yesterday, the day before.
Classic.
They were scrambling for a film and Splash came up. Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah.
Classic.
Oh, I really want to watch that.
I bet you do.
I wonder how it dates. I think Tom Hanks has always been on the right side of the line. I'm not aware of anything.
No, nothing dodge.
There was an anecdote with Peter Kay. I think Netflix wanted to get the rights to show Phoenix Nights on Netflix. And as the carrot to get him to say yes, they sent him an air fryer all branded up with Netflix. It wasn't even a Ninja. So he was
That's
really
hilarious.
He said no, though, I think. Fair play to him.
Hello. Bonjour, bienvenue to the Tea and Trails podcast. How you doing? It's December, baby. It's the most wonderful time.
Oh, no Christmas
Ding
until the birthday
Gary,
is over.
this is awkward. Oh, you raised your hand.
Oh, my goodness.
You've forgotten, haven't you?
You do it, then the Zoom flipped.
What happened?
I
Gary
did that.
Thwaites raised his hand. View. Oh, that's quite aggressive. Hold your hands up. I was just going to say that.
Lower hand. Oh.
Hold your hands up if you would have your tree up. You got it up. Oh!
Sorry, listeners. We're having the time of our life.
Well, so what does that mean when you hold your hand up like on Zoom? Is that because I want to talk?
You're the
It's
boss.
aggressive, isn't it? I'm the boss.
Keep your hand still. Does it work if you do it? Or is it no, it's just
No,
me.
it's just you. You want to talk. So, well, actually, can we implement that? That actually, if you want to talk, I would like you to raise your hand. You got your tree up. Anybody else jogging along? You got your trees up? Shame on you. Shame.
Ours are
you
down.
go.
The decks are down. Not up yet.
I do wonder that. I'm not judging. If you want to put your Christmas decks up wherever you want, whenever you want. But does it lose its sparkle a little bit? Nah. You still loved it. You had a mince pie yet?
But no way.
Oh, I've forgotten. I ate your mince pie in a lay-by this time last year, didn't I? You don't like a mince pie.
We have had a gingerbread chocolate digestive from McVitie's.
Oh, you can keep that.
It was lovely, but it's not a patch on the original, the OG.
So what would you have if we were like having a pot of tea and some mince pies? What would be your little Christmas snack?
Well, I suppose probably the nearest thing, because it has got some spice in it, I'd go for a carrot cake. A little bit of carrot cake.
That well known.
A
I thought
slab.
you were going to say like a little Yule log or something.
Oh, a strudel, yeah, with some ice and sugar.
Strudel. Come on, you
Yeah.
can do better than that. And any Christmas shopping? Not
Rex
seen
has done
that
quite
jumper
well.
before. Is that
Well,
any...
this was mine. Then I gave it to
Spotted.
Lisa, and now I've claimed it back again. I have this habit of having a little tidy up, then it goes into the charity bag. You know what you put on your doorstep.
And then that lives there for a while. And then
When
you go,
Lisa
"Actually,
goes through to see if there's any goodies in it, and she
Okay.
claimed this back, and now I'm part of
nice.
Now I'm part of the One Gym. I thought, no, this is my One Gym uniform. Took it back. She called me out.
My last question for you, Christmas theme, now it's December, is are you on Santa's list, do you reckon? And do you reckon you're on the good or bad list?
100% I've been a good boy. So good. I've got my own
Yeah.
advent calendar. The lovely people at Scott Sports, they sent me an advent. You didn't get one. Well, I told them that you don't do Christmas until after your birthday. So that's probably what it was. I feel
is
terrible
so-
now. That's really awkward.
So is it like a chocolate one, Gary? What are we doing?
Lots of chocolate.
What's your rule with the advent calendar chocolate? You eat it as soon as you wake up? Is it pre-breakfast? Is it mid-morning?
Already gone.
As soon as you wake up, before you like
As soon as I remember, it's like a little molded bit of chocolate, and
Good, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
today's was a little chocolate Christmas dinner.
Well, I didn't want that advent calendar anyway. Is anybody listening to this? Because the kids said, yesterday they were like, do you think anybody eats all their chocolate out of their advent calendar at once? And I said, I think there are people, and I bet there's people running along that are, well, they're probably gasping in horror, but they're also like, oh, that's me. I have no self-control. And again, no judgment here. If that's you, you know, it's all going to get eaten at one point.
I wonder if it's a good deal. So you're after Christmas, when there's all these advent calendars left on the shelf, is that the time to make a purchase?
You have just come up with it, because also it's such a brilliant size. So you could go buy them up, pop them all out the doors, and then into your little sandwich bag for runs, mix them in with a few other little treats. Thanks, Terry and Debs, for your intro. Listeners will have heard a few times from Debs and Terry. Great to see them both on the video. Wow, this is amazing. At least 10K a day for a year, and the finish is almost in sight. Debs, love to hear it. Ta-da! Never hear a ta-ra anymore. We heard a ta the other day, and the kids said, "What ta? What does that mean?" And again, that is maybe a little bit out of fashion now as well.
I would always say ta-ra, and I would always say dinner instead of lunch. But lunch is just infiltrated.
Has it? Does it make you feel slightly nauseous?
I think we need to make a stand. You've got to pick your fight, Sadie.
You have tea. You have tea then, do you? Do you have
dinner and tea. Dinner and tea. But everything, I think, because as the world gets smaller, you know, everybody watches YouTube, and all the languages just get kind of distilled into one.
There's just meals, aren't they? They're just ways to punctuate your day that brings joy.
I love the fact that in England or all over the UK, you can travel 20 miles. It's a complete different language. And if we all start saying lunch, we're lost. We're lost as a nation.
Understand. Wow, this is huge. Keep those intros coming. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com. We always start the podcast with a big portion. And now we can say a big portion of festive love to our patrons. I loved it last week, so I decided to deep dive again. Then I got distracted. And when I came back to the script, Gary had already he loved it even more than me. So for the price of, and I bought a cup of tea at the weekend, Gary, and it was £3. £3 for a cup of tea. You went deeper.
If you buy a bag of chips from a fish and chip shop, the prices can vary widely depending on location, with the average ranging from £2.70 in New Brighton to £5.30 in Plockton for a large portion. If we've got any listeners in Plockton, or they've been to Plockton, it must be a special bag of chips. If they've been to Plockton, Scottish listeners in particular, can you confirm if a large bag of chips cost £5.30? When we did Lumiere, we had 3 bags of chips. I think we had some curry sauce, and that was like 12, 13 quid. And that was like, oh my goodness me. So that's nearly like £4 a portion.
I always wonder when we get a chippy tea, I wonder the people working there, if they just they never eat the fish and chips, they can never eat it, or they just,
well, there's only so much.
Is there only so much? Like, it's just, whenever you have a chippy tea, you always like the first bit is delicious, and then by the time I'm licking the ketchup off the paper, you're like, you regret your choices for
not 1 second of that. No. But I think you're right. We went to a cafe the other day, and we know the people who own the cafe, and it was like 4 o'clock when it was closing, and we came out of there with some corned beef and some quiches, because they just can't have corned beef, pie and quiches every day. So
no one should have corned beef or pie. That was a long way around of saying thanks to our patrons and that we love you. Don't forget, if you want a snood or a bobble hat, you need to add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies. Also, if you're feeling, oh my God, this time next year, what am I going to do? I've got all this excess money. How do I spend it? Then why don't you join Patreon for a year? You can save 10% on your membership. And if you join the legend tier above, we'll send you a bobble hat too. Monday, you don't like recording the podcast because you like to have a day of like prepping the script, having a moment, taking a breath, and I get that. But meanwhile, while that is happening, you are in the background hassling.
Beavering away.
Beaver City, as we say. You are there. The emails going in, out, going, so, hello. And you've done, this is brilliant. This is amazing, Gary.
It's a big deal. This is a big deal.
You hustled well at this. You explain it, because I did nothing towards this.
Yeah, the lovely team at Rio Events. You know, I did the Dragon's Back race. Eddie did Northern Traverse, and we were both on the start line for the 2026 Northern Traverse. They have shared a 10% discount code with our awesome patrons. patrons. And that is perfect timing because the Solomon Skyline Scotland entries open this week. And that is going to be a phenomenal weekend of running. Is that the event that you were MC at?
Oh, stop talking about that. It's so embarrassing. Haven't been invited back, Gary. I do have my eye on the Jacobite 100K there. That is not too far from me. Spicy route. Kind of a good time of year, 100K. I loved that everyone came in looking at, not like they'd done 100K, it looked like they'd done 100 miles. Yeah. So I've got my little eye on that race, maybe.
Spicy elevation on the 100K. I think the 100 mile of the elevation is a bit more sympathetic. But yeah, challenges to suit everyone from international athletes to those entering their first race on the trails. I've got to admit, when I've seen the Instagram post yesterday, I got my juices flowing.
Win-win and supporting a great race company.
Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. X Miles is a family-owned independent endurance sports retailer providing nutritional goods, apparel and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. X Miles offer a wide range of high-quality products from leading brands, and their team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just getting started, X Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need to succeed. Listeners can get 10% store credit at www.xmiles.co.uk via the link in the show notes. Very grateful to Ugoku Projects for producing the Tea and Trails cap. Pop over to Ugoku Project if you would like one, and don't forget patrons receive 20% off. Also, all you lovely listeners can enjoy 10% off with the code T10. If you are looking for the discount codes, then head over to Patreon, teaandtrails.com, or check out the show notes where you will find our link tree.
I know we're all waiting to hear. This is why you've logged on, tuned up, turned the volume up on this podcast. We all want to know about how the new gym is going. Have you made any inappropriate comments yet? Have you been banned from the sauna?
There's a strong influencer game in the gym. I think I'll probably...
Now, tell me about this, because I don't go to gyms. I wonder when I see video, like there's a lot of videoing going on.
Yeah, lots of video going on. I'm not sure if everybody is videoing themselves for the kind of critique from their coaches. I think it's because they're crushing Instagram. I even went in the changing room and some dude was there. He had the phone, he had the little ring light. Gotta say, he had an incredible torso.
He lick up his legs.
You know, I will fight to the death so people can be free and they can express themselves in whatever way they want. But please, please, please do that shit at home, people.
Don't film in the changing room. They're going to start to bring in rules of like... But if he's got a ring light, surely it showed you in your best flexion as you drive.
Yeah, exactly. Well, jaundice, that's what it does. But I'm really enjoying the new gym for multiple reasons, which I will talk about.
Come on then.
So Monday, I had a monster cross training session. I did the spin class, I did the stepper, I went on the elliptical, back with my old friend, the trap bar too. I've watched multiple YouTube videos. I think my technique is okay. You did kindly offer to critique my technique, which I declined. To be honest, like I said, if I filmed it, nobody would bat an eyelid. There is really good etiquette at the gym. On my old gym, the Fitness Factory, people used to load up the various machines and they didn't take the weights off. They've got the chin up bars on the what they call the Smith machine, that kind of where you got all the bars. Yeah. I'm tempted.
Yeah.
But I'm worried that I'm not even sure if I can do one. So I'm thinking, I don't know if this applies to everybody, but some people I know who go on holiday get a tan before they go on holiday so they don't have a white pasty body when they're down in Benidorm. I think I need like a chin-up bar. I need a chin-up bar at home. So I'm confident I can do maybe at least 5 before I go and flex down the gym.
Has the gym got like long bands?
They might have. I'm not too sure.
Because you can tie that then round the bar and put your knee into it, and then you'll easily be able to do a pull-up.
Well, they've got the chin-up machine where you add weight to it.
Oh, where you put the resistance. Oh, okay, do that.
Yeah, I just want to flex on the... Yeah, I want to be old school, Rocky. So
what's the rule about tops on and tops off? Is it like...
Everybody's got their tops on.
It's not the gym for me then.
So yeah, I'm thinking, do I get a chin-up bar or do I just suck it up? Who cares?
Who cares? Just go do one.
As far as the workouts are concerned, I did the classic 10 times 3 minutes on the treadmill. That was Tuesday. I absolutely crushed it, Eddie. I lost locked in and I didn't flinch for a second. Then I went straight, I found this online. I found an Arnold Schwarzenegger circuit that he does, which is supposed to be done in about half an hour. And it's basically 3 sets of 10. You do deadlifts, squats, overhead press, farmers carry, a row. I added the calf raise because I didn't know what a bear crawl is.
Get on your hands and knees, baby.
I'm not doing the bear crawl, so I'll do the...
No, I wouldn't do the bear crawl in the gym either.
And it was good. It did take me longer than what it was supposed to, but I think I was a lot quicker than what I normally would do. And yeah, I'm back doing the deadlift, so that's good. I did have DOMs the next day, so yeah, my little legs had a shock. Wednesday was I was time pressed. I had to go to my flu jab. I had to have my bloods done at the doctor. So lots going on. Yeah,
so
lots going
much
on.
going on.
On the Wednesday, it was supposed to be, it was just under 2 hours, but it was an easy run. So instead, little Rexy got 2 loops of the village. I've entered the Hardmoors Gothland Marathon. That is me complete now. I'm pretty sure I've entered the full marathon series. I've also joined the XNRG virtual Christmas run, and I thought it'd be a good goal for my Hardmoors at least. Can I try and beat an 11, 12, maybe 13 years younger version of myself?
I love that.
I think we'll see how Saltburn goes before I commit.
We can make loads of excuses if you don't anyway. So you're not setting yourself up for failure because we can bring all the science. We can
all
bring
roads
all the science
leads to Northern
just...
Traverse. But I thought that would be a good goal because I've done so much more running. I'm much more comfortable in the hills and long climbs on the hills. When I look at, say, my road marathon times, I am quicker than I was back then. We'll see come Saltburn. I think it's February, first time I get to run out. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Rex you said about purchases, Rex had a blast in Black Friday. He had a full kit glow up. We bought him a new lead, a new harness. He's got a cozy jacket. Yes, I shared a picture of the massive bed. I'm a full-time influencer. I know somebody who's bought a bed off the back of my Instagram post.
Incredible.
Wild. No commission.
But what are you doing about the bed? Because it
Keeping
does
it.
look like
He
the size
loves
of a
it.
double bed.
Oh, well, I crawl in there occasionally.
I saw a comment about how big your sitting room was to fit the bed in.
Yeah, all that Patreon money, raking it in where his chair was in our bay window.
Oh gosh, how
You could see what was going on in the street.
in the drawing room. That's not even. That's not where Rex goes.
In the orangery. So he's in there. He's got a radio there. He's lovely. He's lovely and toasty, and he can see what's going on out in the street. Let's get back to running. What did I do Friday? Friday we went to the Moors with Liam and Phil. On the drive down, we had absolutely shocking weather, and it would have been so easy just to sack it off. But I used your well-known fueling technique. I bought myself a bag of minstrels after our top 5 trail snacks. I even took them into the gym. I don't think it was usual gym fuel. When I went on Sunday, they were emptying all the bins. My goodness me, there's a lot of Monster gets consumed in these gyms. So I think, bag of minstrels. I also had Kenderman cake, precision fuel and hydration, carbon electrolyte drink mix.
What a mix.
I tried these a couple of months ago, actually, at the Trail Outlaws Dark Skies Marathon. Have you heard of a brand called Enduo? They're not paying for this. It's not sponsored, my goodness me, but I chugged on their raspberry and sour cherry pouch before the start. I think if you like that kind of baby food kind of consistency, it's a 100 gram pouch. You get 45 grams of carbs.
Okay. What's the carbs? What's the sort of, is it fructose?
Sport informed, naturally UPF free, whatever that is. Ingredients: organic dates, water, organic coconut oil, organic sunflower seed butter, organic lemon juice.
Okay, I was judgy and...
There's no maltodextrin in there, not that I can see.
Okay.
I would say for maybe like a race like the Northern Traverse.
Yeah, we just want to mix and match.
Because of that consistency, I don't think I'd use it if I was doing the Great North Run or something, where you're just on the red line, running.
Yeah.
It's hard enough just to get a gel down.
Also, 100 grams is quite a lot. You want like the 30, that's the good thing about those precision fuel hydration, the 30 grams, they're quite small.
Yeah,
so.
and it's like, I suppose they might be like 34 grams in weight with about 30 grams of carb. But then sometimes after a long run of gels, you do get a bit hungry.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So they might be quite good. But the dates for the run was 17 miles, just over 3,000 feet. I've got to admit, I had a little toilet break at the beginning. I thought I was toast. Liam and Phil absolutely shot off.
No warming up into it. No, like, oh.
I was thinking, well, I know where I'm at. I think I'm just going to do my own thing today. This is what it's going to be. Almost to the point, is it the last time I can go and run with these guys? Because I am not rinsing myself on an easy run. They drifted off and I thought, I'm going to be stubborn. I'm just not going to go into that. I did go into zone 3 initially. I'm thinking, oh, whoa, hang on a minute. We're like literally about a mile into this run. So I was pretty firm. I went down to zone 2. Luckily, they were waiting for me at the bottom of the bank. And then after that, it kind of chilled out. We ran and shuffled it all after that. Apart from at the very end, you'll know this, Northern Traverse, Codbeck area. You come off the Cleveland Way, you go through some bits of woods, then you do a long climb, maybe a couple of mile climb up to Carlton Bank. We ran all of that. And I don't mind burning matches the last 2 mile of a long run. You know, you can just kind of leave it all out there. My heart rate peaked to 151, which is well into zone 4. Sad times at the end. The cafe was shut.
You don't have much luck with those cafes. They always seem to be shut.
It was dark. When we got home, though, it was dark and miserable. And
what did you do then? What did you do then, Gary? I saw this and thought, what is he doing?
Well, I really didn't want to. It was absolutely minging windy and wet weather, but Rex, he needed to go out. So I think fresh air is like a drug. He comes back a bit wild. Like if we just let him out in the garden for a wee in the evening, he's bonkers for 5 minutes when he comes up. He absolutely loved it. It took me to just over 20 miles for the day, but it was a super early start on Saturday. And this is one of the reasons why I'm really enjoying the gym, because twice this week I've been to the gym when the fitness factory would have been closed. So I did the cardio in the gym and then I was a prisoner to the kitchen on Saturday. Oh, I had to do, it was all afternoon I was doing DIY because we got guests over Christmas basically. So that meant I was just basically locked in the kitchen all. It's such a horrible way to spend your Saturday afternoon, but luckily any football fan will like this. Luckily the match was on, the radio kept me entertained, and Sunderland again snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. I'm very sorry if you've got any Bournemouth listeners. It's a good thing as an athlete as well as a team. The current Sunderland team, it just doesn't know when it's beat. It's fantastic to watch at the moment. Even two goals down, that third goal was a pivotal moment, and luckily we got that third goal, and then we turned it around, come back to win. Sunday was a nice end to the week. I went for, I was going to say lunch, we went for dinner, stroll with my sister on Sunday. Went down to Seaton. Oh my goodness, it was super brisk. It was nice to have a catch up, and I think when you've had a big belly full of pastry and chips, a little stroll after it is just
good for
the way.
blood sugar.
Yeah. So now we get home, it's dark, and I still haven't done my 5 times 4 minutes and my gym session. It would have been lovely, like I mentioned earlier. We had the gingerbread festive chocolate digestives. It would have been awesome just to sit on the sofa, get cuddled up and smash a bag of those. At my old gym, yes, it would have been closed, but not the 24-hour one gym. So that's...
And the beacon's calling you. Get your vest on, Gary. Get down to the gym.
I bought some Tea and Trails vest from Summit Crazy for the gym. Thing is, when I've got the heart rate strap on my arm...
Yes, I don't want you advertising when you're in the gym.
Makes my little arms
doing
look...
inappropriate things. What, it makes your arms look massive?
No, a little bit chubby. The fat when it squeezes my arm. I don't like the look in them. Anyway, I pushed past that. I did.
Because mine just highlights my tricep definition and my bicep. So clearly you need a bit more Arnie work. Actually, I think I need a bigger strap because it's straining, Gary, on the muscles.
We need better mirrors in the gym.
Does it have a request box in the reception? Because you can start that every day. I don't look like that in real life. These mirrors are lying.
Well, in the free weight section in the fitness factory, they used to make me look slimmer and taller. It was incredible. I don't know how it managed. I used to love going there. Anyway, I finished the week with 5 times 4 minutes on the treadmill, inclined, and then I jumped on and did my Arnie circuit to finish off. You could tell I was pooped though, because we've had a bit of RP, what's it called? Rate of perceived effort. The
exertion, but yeah, good.
The RPE was a lot higher than what my heart rate data was. So yeah, I was knackered at the end of a long week. But I'll take it though. 77 miles for the week, 2 proper strength sessions, 1 brutal abs. You've inspired me with the cardio. So about 2.5 hours of cardio, 5,500 feet of vert, but I'm not recording the stepper and the treadmill. So there's definitely a few 1,000 feet going on there. What I really enjoyed about this week, so probably not the best week of exercise I've ever had in my life, but everything apart from the run I forgot, didn't feel strained. Everything just slotted into place nicely. A low friction week. I think that's what it's called.
I hit the treadmill hard last week because we had terrible weather. I thought, why put myself through it? The mud, the rain, the wind. So muddy. So I did almost 10,000 feet worth of climbing on the tread.
Whoa.
I did another 8x5 uphill. I'd written my target times, just like you, locked in. I set myself the pace to start. And I was like, so you're going to do, and I used Stu's advice. So I just worked on first 4. So I used it as like 2 different sessions. First 4, I'm going to lock on with the pace I finished at last week, and I'm going to do 4 at that pace. And then the next 4, if I feel I can't go any faster, I've got to keep that pace, or I'm going to try and go 2 a wee bit faster, and then 2, the fastest one's got to come at the end. So if I can't go any faster, then I've just got to keep it there because the last one has to be faster than all the other 8.
Yeah.
Mental games. I think I did my last one of those sessions of like 5 days, and then I did the next one. How can you have such a big improvement? Like, it's not just fitness related. It must be as well just confidence, the mental like tick 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 of like, yeah, I've done this before and I know I can do it, but I know I can start a bit faster. And there's so much on the treadmill, which is why I love treadmill running. I know some people hate it. You can really control your heart rate on that. If you go to that like low zone 3, sort of middle of zone 3, where it's sort of the pace you can run for an hour. I love holding it there, but I also, when you're running on the treadmill, how you can make your heart rate go down 2 or 3 beats by just lowering your scapulars, breathing and lowering. It can lower, and that's massive. If you're working at that zone where 2 or 3 beats higher and it's going to be heinous, if you can get it like 5 beats below that threshold. So I really was working on that of like breathe down, get it down 2 or 3 beats. I love that. It's a really great thing to practice. So smashed out another on that. Really happy with that.
This time of year, the treadmill is a gift though. Since I've joined the gym, the amount of quality workouts I do during the winter compared to pre-gym membership, I can't even compare it.
The thing is, if you don't, you can still get that heart rate response. It's just so much harder in the winter, like the mental game to get out. And then if you're in the countryside, or you're running on like, the light or whatever, it is just much harder. You still get heart rate up. Wednesday just did dog miles and I didn't. More and more, I'm not taking our friend. She's still up for it. She loves it. It's slow and there's so many weeds now, Gary. It's literally every half mile we have to stop, prepare, sniff. In our like 10k run, there's about 6 gates, and when you've got 2 dogs going through the gate, they all get tangled up, and then we all have to stop for a wee, and then another wee. Then oh my god! Thursday we had late night recording. It wasn't late at all, but it felt late. It feels so late in the winter, doesn't it? Because we didn't finish until it was dark, and I hadn't done anything all day, Gary, because I'd done the school run in the morning so that I could work later in the evening. So I left you knowing, if I said it as well, that I'd have to do it. In my head, I'd got 4 by 10 minutes uphill, not hard. And you were like, Eddie, you put doubt in my mind because you were like, there is no way I would never do that. Because I was like, shall I just go outside and also didn't trim? And you're like, oh, I knew what I'd do. I thought, well, you know what, Gary, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Screw you.
So screw you. And we talked about Neil about Jeopardy sessions and doing it. So I thought, I really don't want to do this. I'm really tired. And I got a massive session ahead of me. So I just fired up the treadmill. I go, right, 20 minutes, shuffle. Don't worry about anything. Warm up, put some tunes on, cranked the treadmill up, got moving. Always feel better once you get moving. I felt so much better. Within like about 15 minutes, I was up for it, Gary. I'm up for anything. I whacked it up and I thought, right, I am going to do 10 minutes longer, keep it at 10%. Longer grind than a shorter, faster feet, a bit more of a shuffle. And then I started going, got my heart rate up quite quickly. And I thought, I feel really quite good at this heart rate. So I'm going to take it down a little bit so I can run a little bit faster. And then in my head, I thought, I might do, instead of doing 4 by 10, because that's 4 times you've got to go through a rep, I'll do 15, 12 and 10. I'll do that instead because then it's only 3 times. Then I got to 15 and I was like, I feel fine. I'm just going to keep on going. And so I didn't bother with the rest. I was like, I was going to keep on going. I'm holding this heart rate. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I'm warm. I don't really want to slow down. I'm just going to hold it. So I was like, I'll do to 20. Got to 20 and was like, I'm still feeling good. So I just hung on in there. I hung on in there for 45 minutes.
Wow.
Gary.
Kudos, Eddie. That's
I was
amazing.
just watching my heart rate, like at that exact point of like, all I can do is watch this heart rate. But I was running really strong. I had good tunes on and I was like, I'm just loving this. So I'm just going to stay here. And I thought it was like, you could sort of go, oh, but it wasn't what you planned. But actually, it was exactly what I needed to do. My brain was a bit funkled after a busy day of work. I didn't really have it in me to like slow down and then build back up. I was like, no, I'm here and I feel fine. Actually, I've got 2 gels. I'm just going to keep it here and do a bit of a sweat session and concentrating on holding that heart rate, holding my form. I messed around with the incline a bit just to mix it up. And I did my last 5 minutes, like I took it up another level. I was like, I'm on fire. I thought I am on fire. And then I stepped off the treadmill. My stuff was so sweaty. It was disgusting. I went upstairs to have a shower and I did one of that. I put my dressing gown on while the shower heated up and I had to have a little lie down, Gary. I had a little lie down. I think it was like 6:45 by now. I was like, can I have a little nap before I have to go down and cook
Pre-nap.
tea and sort of, pre-nap. I've got to go and do homework and tea. And I had that horrible, like slightly sick. I need to eat, but also I feel absolutely cooked. And then I was like, oh no, have I overdone it? I've overdone it. Anyway, there's nothing but a good old carton of chocolate milk didn't sort out. Load of tea,
Classic.
big shower, and it was fine. It was fine. Then Friday morning, I was meeting up with my Morsine gal pals we were all going to do a Swift bike together, Swift workout. So you can make an event or do a workout together, but they can't escape because you just put where everyone can do their different efforts. Anyway, I chose the workout. It was such a hard workout, Gary. It didn't really have any rest. So we jumped all on a video WhatsApp and then we set up our phones, aka influencers. And then we just watched each other suffer. Because there was really no rest, it was like basically an hour of my heart rate through the roof and loads of us heavy breathing. It was hilarious.
What a lovely
Then it would be
catch-up.
like 30 seconds, yeah. And one of my friends was like, Eddie, I thought we were just having a like nice ride around and a catch up. And I was like, no, come on. Work harder. But it was such a good workout. And because we were all on there and I could just glance up through the sweat pouring down my eyeballs. But because everyone's cameras were sort of set, all I could see was like half a shoulder or a sweaty boob or something. But it was great. It was great. And when you live a long way away from your friends, can I recommend that? If it's a sad world we live in that we have to meet up virtually, but it was great. It was fun. If anyone wants to do a Swift workout with me, always there. We've made some screenshots of future ones, so I'm not allowed to choose them again. But then I was like, I've played a dangerous game. I've done 3 mega workouts here, much harder than I've worked out in a long time, Eddie. I fueled well. I drank well. I think that is just the key, as the fueling. As long as you're fueling them, fueling the sessions and fueling again straight after, you're all right. Had my long-awaited doctor's appointment. I know you all love my journey, my iron journey. So I made an appointment with a different GP, a woman, basically, to make a bit of a plan of where I'm going with my iron, how long I need to take my iron, blood. I wanted just to have a discussion with somebody about like, what, is there an end to this? What have we got? Are we going to put some numbers in place and stuff? And she was really, really good. And we have got a plan. And she sounds like, I've never met anybody like you before. And I was like, you don't need to, I was like, almost like, you don't need to understand what I'm doing. And I don't expect you to, but I do need you to understand a little bit what I need. And she was really good. And she was like, yes, you need your ferritin to 50 because the NHS guy, I think it's 13. They say is like, that's okay, which is not okay. And it's really not okay if you're an athlete. And so I was really pleased that she said, no, we need to keep going to this 50. And I said to her about Northern Traverse. And I said I would want to have bloods like a couple of weeks before just to check that I was in a good place before, because also then we can do bloods afterwards to see what's happened like a month after the detriment and stuff. And so we've already got that all in the system now in place so that I can just ring up and go and get it. So I was super happy with that. We talked about the iron, how long I'm going to have to be on the tablets for, forever.
Could it be forever? That's interesting.
Well, we don't know. We talked about how I can do it. So I'll share this with you, which is perhaps a bit of overshare, but I think I've overshared so much on this podcast. So I really apologize if it is oversharing. As you are going into your sort of perimenopausal stage of life, your periods really change. They can change in their regularity. They can change in the pain that you get. Everything horrible that happens in periods gets like absolutely even worse in perimenopause. It's horrible. They become much heavier. And I didn't think I was having particularly heavier periods than normal. And then when I discussed it with the doctor and we talked about it, and I said, I am getting a lot more pain than I ever used to do. Like, so literally I have one day, Gary, in my period where I wouldn't be able to do a race. It's too heavy.
Oh my goodness, okay.
And it's too painful. I can hardly like function. And I sort of just thought I just have to get on with that. And she was like, we need to sort that because every month, otherwise you're losing a lot of your iron. You're sort of pulling it back up. And I was like, I don't know if I'm losing that much. You will be. So I'm going to try the merino coil, which is something contraceptive implant. It's progesterone. It goes straight into your womb, but it stops your period. And so I've always been really anti taking hormones because I've always liked to know that I have a cycle and that I'm fueling well. It's like a process going with my body. I've always been a bit like that. She was like, look, you can put this coil in and it lasts for 8 years. You could go through perimenopause now and into menopause without having any more periods. You're not going to be losing that blood. And initially I was like, no, I don't want that. And then I had a thought about it and chat with Bryn. I thought, actually, why would I not? Like, if I have my period during Northern First, what am I going to do? It's not cheating. I don't know why I thought like, no, I've got to see through this time in my life. I've got to suffer. And then I was like, actually, why? I've done it now. I don't need periods anymore. I know I'm healthy. And also they're all over the place now anyway. So it's not a representation of my bone health or my hormonal health. I'm going to try that and see if that will help. That will keep some more red blood cells in my body. So people might be scared about, changing the hormones. There are side effects as well. So as the doctor said, you can always take it out if you don't like it and you don't feel good on it. If it means I don't have to be on iron for the rest of the next sort of 8-10 years, and it also means that I can function as a human throughout the month, then I'm going to try it.
Imagine how many people are out there just thinking, well, this is just the way it is.
We had a busy weekend planned, lots of sport, so I had to get up at the crack 5 a.m. with a little head torch, both dogs. Kids had rugby matches, and unfortunately we had a bit of a incident. I always knew it's a high jeopardy playing these games. We've had a good run of it, Gary. I don't think we've had a serious injury for falls and spills, but I don't think so I knew in my heart, I was like, there's going to be a time when the person who's lying on the pitch is going to be mine.
Yeah.
So we had an incident. I won't go into too much details because it's still a bit fresh and a bit raw, but we had a nasty accident on the weekend. All I can say is I'm so happy we were there. All is fine now. We're just in a bit of a recovery phase, but it meant I had Sunday planned to go and meet with my Wild Heart Runners crew. We had 20 miles planned and a bit of a birthday shenanigan. We were going to do something on the Monday for my birthday too. Anyway, it all changed. I ended up not doing any of that, looking after a child. But when stuff happens that you don't expect and you have to change your plans, and you and I are like really like, we love our training and we love the plan. And you were like, oh, I missed the run. Actually, when something happens in your life that is really serious and you see a bit of life flash and you see the other side of like, actually, you see other people that are really ill, it doesn't matter. Yeah. My whole weekend then went to pot, obviously, and I wanted to just be at home looking after the kids. And so I didn't get my long. So what was going to be my long run, 20 miles, I got in 6. At dawn again. I was so tired. Get my cortisol, Gary. I mean, if you have a big shock and then a big incident, it's funny because Karen Nicol messaged me going, let the cortisol come down, is going to be really hard. And I was like, but I had to get back up onto it because then the other kids had other stuff going on Sunday. So I had to do more driving them around to various things as well as looking after sick children. So I was like, I had like this like line of and I just felt horrible. So in some ways, baby Jesus had looked on me kindly because he was like, you are going to nail yourself for those 3 sessions this week. So actually, I still ended up with quite a good week because I had those 3 sessions. I'd done a lot of uphill work. I'd done one strength and missed the other strength. But honestly, I think as well, when things happen and you have to change your plans because of unexpected things, you realize you don't care either. You don't care. You're just like, oh, everybody's alive. Everyone's okay. With these sports, with all of us, there is an element of risk in all that we do. You know, running at night, you're running in the mountains, you're running, you know, you could be hit by a car, you go out around the lanes. There is that element of risk in it. There was a question of me going, should we be doing stuff that has got that such high risk? You know, you hear of somebody that's, you know, something's happened to them on the way to the shops or the library or something. And so it wasn't the superest fun weekend, but I'm just happy that everybody's in one piece. Another parenting notch, and another time that I'm super happy that Bryn and I are such a team, and go through these when you can go through these sort of things with this person that, you know, you'll turn to, and I mean, if there's no one else you'd want in an emergency, Gary, I could hire him out. He's amazing. So we go on to Live to Fight Another Day, but the training a little bit different again this week, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next week.
Thanks, Precision Fuel and Hydration, for supporting Brew with the Coaches. Their website and newsletters are such a good source of knowledge, articles to read, and YouTube content to binge on too. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultramarathon, what pro runners carry on race day, and how to nail your marathon prep. Precision Fuel and Hydration helps athletes personalise their hydration and fueling strategies so they can perform at their best. They will help you know your numbers too. They have a handy free online sweat test and nutrition planner. Head over to www.precisionhydration.com, and don't forget, patrons can enjoy 20% off. But if you would like to try Precision Fuel and Hydration, then you are in luck. Use the code TEATIME2025 for 15% off your first order. I listen back to this week's Brew with the Coaches, and I will listen to everybody, but sometimes I follow nobody. I don't think I'll ever
We love our heart rate monitors. We both I've always loved my heart rate since I was a teenager.
But I'm interested in the heart rate reserve. I always just do that percentage of max.
But also none of it is actually like, I really relate it to my rate of perceived exertion. I use that first, and then I validate it with the heart rate monitor. But actually, you really need lab testing to make it absolutely, totally right. And there's so many variables that can go into the heart rate change as well.
Hi there. Polarized training question here. One I'm sure many listeners will have struggled with. Quite simply, percent max heart rate or percent heart rate range. There you go. Keep up the great work while I'm off to become a Patreon. Kiss, Andy H.
Should we just check he is a Patreon before we answer this question? No, I'm just joking.
I've heard of them both, but I've only ever really gone for the max heart rate option, so I'm not really too sure what the difference is. Someone like myself, I do enjoy training to heart rate. So if the data is correct, which one would be the best, if any, to use? Russell?
I've got two answers. I've got the short answer and the long answer. The short answer is, Andy, the heart rate reserve. It is better to know your max and your resting heart rate, and that does help to set it, because it's going to be different for everyone. The long answer is, ultra running is in its infancy compared to marathon running, and it's not as competitive as sport. And I can prove that with a really simple statistic, and that's just the level of competition, the level of participants. There aren't as many in ultra running. And I think that can be misleading, because we want to sell something, and while it's niche and while it's new, you can get away with that because the evidence from the top performers is not quite as high. It's not quite as competitive. Tom Evans won UTMB. Tom Evans couldn't deal with marathon. He wasn't strong enough. He wasn't fast enough. So he's moved over. It's pretty similar with Jim Walmsley. And the reason this is important is because the best guys in the world in the most competitive sport, they all live in East Africa, and they've scrapped heart rate training completely because it holds you back. It's misleading. Just because it's an easy measure doesn't make it a good measure. The two best Brits, Phil Sesman, who I happen to be very close friends with, and Emil Perez, they got all this technology thrown at them, the heart rate, the lactic threshold, and they went to Kenya to break out of the rut they were in, and they learned from those guys and from the coaches there that heart rate was holding them back. Those numbers can turn on you. There's just so many variables. As we get better at ultra running, and I love ultra running and trail running, we're going to start to find that the very best guys, as it gets more competitive, they're going to have to go back to tuning into the supercomputer of their brain, how they feel. There's something like 40 systems in the body. It could be a skeletal injury, it could be a tendon injury, it could be that you're ill, it could be that the climatic load is high, the wind, the mud, the uphill. If you're going to run a zone 3 run and you're running downhill, you just try and get into zone 3 running downhill. It's nearly impossible. You'll wipe yourself out. You find that heart rate goes down as your effort goes up, as you get more tired. There's just so many problems with it that I just think you need to scrap it altogether. It's a long answer. Sorry.
So how do you coach your runners, Russell? Do you give them
RPE. RPE. It's
how do you
feel.
teach them RPE?
It's a problem to start off with. People haven't done it for so long and they've outsourced to their watch. But it's asking yourself really honest, like out of 10 being flat out, 0 being nothing, how hard does this feel? And if it's an easy run, am I really at a 2 or a 3 here, or am I pushing a 4 or a 5? And the more you ask yourself, the more nuanced it gets, and the better you get at feeling that. And it is a skill. It's called interoception, and you can practice it with time, and you can get really good at it. And it serves you so well, because in ultra running and trail running, there's just so many variables just naturally because of the terrain and the heart rate. It's just a very blunt instrument, and we can measure it easily, and we can sell it to you, and we can sound like we know what we're doing, and we can talk about these questions. But actually the really foundational stuff, like listening to your body and your mind, it is not going to be found on your wristwatch.
If you really want to use your heart rate monitor and you find it helpful, then I would say the heart rate range is better, Andy, if you're going to use your heart rate monitor, because lots of people do like to use their heart rate as feedback, do a range anyway. I always give myself a huge range, a good 15 beats. Go how you're feeling, Eddie. But that's the same as the range you'd use if you were doing RPE as well, because some days your RPE 4-5, your easy run, that might be at a 9-minute mile pace because your legs are trashed, and then some days it might feel easy and it's an 8-minute mile pace because you haven't got trashed legs. Your heart rate will probably be quite similar, but if you give yourself a big range rather than a specific number, and also if you've never had any lab testing done, then it's very, as we all know, the algorithms. How do we know? And so much changes as you get older, your heart rate, your ability to push your heart rate. And as Russell said, there's so many variables within that. Listen to your body, I think, is the first one.
How do you do that? We all know it's out there, but then, you start a race and you say, this is my 100-mile pace, and it's quite obvious it is not. But to take ownership of that perceived effort too, it is
hard. I use RPE like Russell for training, but I always find with new clients, the vast majority of my comments at the start are, this is too high for a RPE, for the RPE. But I do think it's super important that, and particularly for ultras, that you're able to dial into how that feels. And for the longevity of your performance in an ultra, I think RPE is incredibly important to be able to do those longer efforts, to understand your body, and to not to be consumed by your watch. 100% I use RPE, and if you're going to pick something, it would be heart rate range.
I think, though, it's really interesting to put people in a heart rate monitor to go, look what happens to your heart rate response up this hill or down, like Russell was saying, like down this hill, because we're talking from a very privileged background that we've all run for hundreds of years combined. We've got the feels. I could tell you the long run I did with Lucy at the weekend, average heart rate, I would be able to tell you spot on, almost to within 2 beats of what it is, because I'm so dialed into the feels. But if you're just starting and we talk about the feels and they're like, I don't know, but I'm really out of breath. And you're like, yeah, you might be out of breath for like 5 seconds going up the hill. And then, but look at your heart rate response, and then you recover really quickly, and then you go downhill. So it is an educational tool for people, 100%. I think, to have to see, and to also then, it is then a great place for coach, because you can just click on their heart rate and go, oh, hi there, 165. How did that feel? I think so don't go, because they said, but I think combining the two and then being able to take that strap off, like we take our bras at the end of the day, take it off and be able to run with exactly the same feel feels is what you're working towards as well. But if you're not sure, put the heart rate monitor on as well to get the feels, and then it's it's something on your wrist that will be telling you. It never ever is telling you. You'll never go, I need to work harder as a runner. It's always slow down, baby cakes.
Well, the other thing to remember with heart rate as well, and particularly with ultras, is as you go on an ultra, your heart rate will get lower. But your perceived effort will increase. So, and that's a well-known thing of ultras. Your heart rate, you'll get to a point where your heart rate, you won't be able to elevate your heart rate. But the effort will, the muscle fatigue will be horrific. So that's something you need to understand as well. If you're, getting towards the end of an ultra and your heart rate is super low and you're thinking, well, I'm not working at the same intensity. It's a different thing.
You're not.
Yeah.
You went off for 8-minute miles and now you're walking at 20-minute miles. We've all been there.
Dr. Steven Seeler, have you heard of him? He invented the term pyramidal training. Yeah, and he was saying actually to replace it with breathing rate, listening to your
100%.
breathing. Yeah, and that is a bit
Dr.
more.
Stephen. Yes.
Not read that.
That's more having to listen to your body again rather than the device, because there isn't a way we can actually measure breathing frequency. You have to just ask yourself, am I out of breath? Can I have a conversation here? Am I flat out and I can't even say my own name? That can be a good thing to pivot onto if you were like, well, I want to measure something. Maybe try and tune into your breathing, how your breathing is feeling, and that is the truth.
There's a real breathing shift as well, isn't there, between steady effort, which are like our longer efforts that we might give athletes, to those harder, like anything under 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. You hear the dog comes out, as I call it. You hear it and like you're in control of it, but you can really hear it. And that's where you want to get to in those shorter efforts. Whereas if you're in that breathing effort for a longer effort, you can't talk to Joyce putting the bins out. You've got snot, you've got your eyes dribbling. That is not the right place to be. Maybe we need photographic RPEs. That would be really helpful as well. Of like, how much snot is coming out of your nose? Full snot, double snot dribbles. Good, excellent. 1 minute efforts.
I bleed. I start to get nosebleeds. That's how bad it gets.
You're bleeding all over Insta at the moment. So every time you pop up, you're freaking bleeding out.
It gets loads of traction on Instagram.
Are you okay?
I'm on my way.
Clickbait, Russell.
Yeah,
I hope that helps, Andy. Little bit of thoughts. Use your heart rate range rather than than a set figure, but also everybody that does use your heart rate monitor, think about how to correspond it with feelings. Run without it, run with it, whatever works for you. But hopefully you can find a happy medium as well. Never rely too much on what your watch says, because as we all know, the algorithms lie.
I couldn't imagine running without my heart rate monitor. That would trigger me.
Yeah. Thanks, Harriet Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and the Tales from the Trail section. Harriet is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproof poles and other trail essentials at www.harryrunfree.co.uk. You can also download your free copy of How to Run an Ultra Guide. If you'd like to save 10% on your purchase from Harriet, then use the code T10 for 10% off, or check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. If you're looking for a waterproof jacket, get this asked a couple of times a week normally. Exmoor 2.5 layer waterproof jacket, trail running waterproof, built for runners who keep moving, whatever the weather, weighing just 236 grams. That's great, isn't it? Lightweight waterproof jacket for running. It delivers serious protection without slowing you down. Perfect for long training sessions, mountain trails or ultra distance races, and comes in at an excellent $94.99.
First up on this week's Strava Club is Wayne Neeson, 70.3 miles for the week with the longest run of 13.2 miles and 2,018 feet of vert. Wayne loves the 10.3 mile run. He did the same run 4 times last week, and Sunday's long run was pretty much the same route but with a little bit bolted on. And it reminds me, I'm not throwing stones, Wayne, it reminds me my little village loop, or now in the winter when it's a bit muddy down in Trimden, I go to Heselden and back every day.
I like doing the same. It's very comforting. I bet 99% of us do a version. You never do it the other way. Never do that run the other way.
Well, I used to do it anti-clockwise, but Lisa showed me the light and we now do the trimmed and loop clockwise.
Why do you do it the other way?
Well, because some of us say the woods and some of us exposed. If I do the exposed bit the way I used to do it, it was a headwind for 2 or 3 miles.
On it.
I know, she's much more intelligent than me. Next up is Emma Williams, 54.2 miles for the week with the longest run of 21.1 miles and total elevation of 6,729 feet of vert. Request to follow Emma. But yeah, that long run and some decent vert too. I wonder what Emma has coming up. Last up is David Hanna, 65.5 miles for the week with the longest run of 26.5 miles and 11,617 feet of vert. It's another private Strava, but David is a strong runner. He was 4th in the Northern Traverse in 2024 and 3rd, I think, in 2025. I'd love a little sneak peek at David's Strava deets so I could glean some of that Northern Traverse knowledge. Yeah, so super solid. I think first time he did it was 52 hours and 47 minutes and then 52 hours and 7 minutes. So yeah, David knows how to get to the end of a super long race. Happy birthday to listener Tony McGonnell. Tony actually knows my sister. It's a small world. Hope you had a great day, Tony. Also, Andy Stevenson has recently celebrated his birthday too. Andy is such a lovely member of the trail running and the Tea and Trails community. Yeah, hope you had a great day, Andy. We don't have any heavy flexes. Surely there's somebody out there who has flexed. So if you've got a mate who's flexed or orbited the sun one more time, then email hello@teaandtrails.com. You do need to pop heavy flex or birthday shout out as the subject. Tales from the Trails.
Hello, Eddie and Gary. Here is my Tales from the Trails contribution. Sort of. You'll see it is a little different from the usual. I hope you'll forgive me. I promise the tale is from the trails, but it's mainly just the running element that is a little lacking. Don't worry, that doesn't bother us at all in this podcast. It's dark out, the wind roars and my fingers are already cold. I've not even left the house yet. Oh my goodness. I bend down onto the little stool, letting it take my weight. The stiffness in my hips and hamstrings instantly pulls tight and makes me feel a good 20 years older than I am. But I am welcome. It is a reminder of just why I'm so full of nerves and excitement. I reach for my first sock and I'm still amazed by how reluctant my body is to comply with the simplest request. I really struggle to put my socks on, too. The 30 minutes yoga I've already done to try and warm myself up feels wasted on a body that has only known one thing for the last 2 years. Seeing my trainers again feels like being reunited with old friends. And as I carefully start easing the laces apart, the cracking of the fabric and the flaking dust makes the smile at the thought of the last time I had them on my feet. The way I'd covered my usual morning loop with no effort. The way my mind was so busy, I didn't even realise at the time that it would be my last run. The way I'd clearly thrown my beloved trainers into the packing box on my return without even dusting them off or wiping them down. Because for the last 2 years, running hasn't been an option. For the last 2 years, I've had riding shoes or sandals at my disposal. And even then, the sandals felt like an unnecessary luxury. For the last 2 years, my body, my mind, my whole life has been nothing but cycling around the world. It feels so surreal to write it down, let alone that I'm now back home, that we actually did it. But over the last 2 years, my husband and I covered 33,000 kilometres around the world on our bicycles, through 35 different countries, climbing over 335,000 metres along the way. I mean, it's good to write it down because I still can't quite believe it myself. My body is always keen to remind me that it wasn't a dream. The aches and pains and stiffness is lingering on weeks after we returned home, and the reminder of the adventure we somehow pulled off. And I'm just so unbelievably grateful that I live in an age where the Tea and Trails podcast was able to come along with me for the ride. This is amazing. Through the first weeks in Europe, listening to you kept me grounded when everything felt so initially overwhelming as we adjusted to our new way of life on bikes. The tales of endurance from you and your guests kept me pedalling on through the fierce winds of southern Patagonia. The stories of hardship and of adventure that you shared kept me inspired through the endless climbing of the Andes as we traversed our way north through South America. Listening to anecdotes from the wonderful Tea and Trails community helped remind me to stop and appreciate the small things as our journey continued north through the USA and Canada. Hearing your friendly chatter made me feel so much closer to home as we crossed Japan and South Korea. We couldn't be further from it. Your voices became the joyful, welcome distraction from the chaos and noise of busy, dusty roads of Southeast Asia. Listening to your workout of the week motivated me to keep working hard through the endless hairpin bends of the mountains of Nepal. I found great comfort in knowing I wasn't the only crazy person pushing my body through exhaustion as we tackled Central Asia at the tail end of the winter. Oh my goodness. Your laughter fueled my laughter as we continued through the South Caucasus region. And there was a momentous day in Turkey where I had to stop pedalling because the laughter-induced tears was clouding my vision to unsafe levels, thanks to Gary's Eminem song, lives in the legend box, that one. And you were still there with me as I tackled the heat of the Balkans and Europe over the summer and the last stretch across the UK back to our home in the Peak District. Through the fields and the deserts and the cities and the mud and the mountains and the forests, the river paths, the volcanoes, the woodlands, the salt flats, the canyons, the towns, the caves, the cycle path. It feels like you've been through it all with me. So it feels only right now as I lace up my trainers for my first run in 2 years. A run that I know will be more of a painful shuffle. You come along with me too. I loop my shocks over my ears. I scroll through my phone and I press play on episode 161 and I finally get out the door into the dark of the winter's morning and back to running. I wonder what's episode 161. It's a good one. Everyone's a good one. Thank you, Eddie and Gary, because the Tea and Trails podcast, all your hard work, it's an incredible thing. I feel like I'm part of something, even though I've never met you. I've learned so much from you and applied it so much to my life, even though I'm not a proper runner. I've taken so much inspiration and motivation from you, even though you don't know it yet. And week after week, you keep working hard and hustling away. Well, one of us does. It's so easy to take things in life for granted. So I wanted to take a moment to show my gratitude for everything you do, because this Not So Little podcast will have a much wider record than you'll ever be able to comprehend and touch people's lives in ways you could never imagine. And that's definitely true of the ways in which you've helped me. So thank you. All the best, Sarah Robinson. Kiss.
Thank you, Sarah. What an adventure. What a storyteller. Surely there's a book
I didn't realise we'd cycled the world. We need to get her on the podcast.
That's incredible.
Would that be something you and Lisa could take on?
I'd need to get saddle ready for that. Whoa.
Amazing. What a journey, Sarah. I bet there's so many great stories. You and your husband cycling around the world. It's definitely something, I'll never do it, but I really admire people that take themselves off and do huge adventures like that. Life-changing, totally life-changing. Incredible. And thanks for taking us with you. We love your tales from the trails and reviews. Keep them coming to hello@teaandtrails.com and pop tales from the trails as a subject.
Thank you, Protein Rebel, for bringing us home. Gentle on your stomach, driving your performance. Whether you're trying to get a PB, training for your first marathon, breaking world records dressed as a rhino, or completing your 10th Ultra. Protein Rebel's products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits. Daily Marine Collagen is designed for runners of all distances. Give your knees, ankles, hips and tendons a break. You can train harder, recover faster and stay injury-free. Trusted by runners of all distances, and it mixes easily, dissolves in coffee, shakes, water and my sleepy tea too. If you would like to try and buy some award-winning products, then use the code T15 for 15% off your first order over at www.proteinrebel.com. Patreons can enjoy 15% off every order. You're going to need to pop over to Patreon for that discount code.
It's been a while, but due to the success of our wonderful interview with the wonderful Neil from XNRG, he very kindly offered us a free place in the always sold out Pilgrims Challenge, which is the 7th to 8th of February 2026. It's 2-day ultra, 66 miles. I've done it many times, Gary. It is, on paper, you think, nice. One of the hardest things I've done many times because the mud, Gary, it is a glute burner. It is brilliant. The route follows the most celebrated section of the North Downs Way. If you don't know anything about the North Downs Way, it's just south of London, a path walked by pilgrims en route to Canterbury. You'll pass through peaceful woodlands, rolling fields, charming villages, historic churches and centuries-old tracks. You won't look at any of that because you'll be blowing out your ass. Over 2 days, you'll experience a full spectrum. You definitely will. I know some years they've had snow. You definitely have some rain. There'll definitely be some mud. You'll experience the full spectrum of British weather, from snow and ice to bright sunlit miles, and that unpredictability that's part of what makes it so special. Course is well marked, and you have a full GPX file as well. You've got a support crew, and signage will keep you on track. And at the end of the day, you'll be welcomed back with food, warmth, and stories shared over dinner. It is such a popular event. It is always sold out, but he's very kindly offered us a guaranteed place. So we thought, let's give this gift. And we want you lovely listeners to choose someone that perhaps you think maybe they need a little kick up of the bum to have something to train as training focus, or maybe they've got a big race and they need a little bit of race experience, or maybe it's a tired mum, it's a tired dad that you think, I'm going to give my partner, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my brother, my sister, the weekend off. I'm going to look after the kids and I'm going to say, you go and do the Pilgrim's Challenge, whatever it looks like. So super simple to enter. Pop over to Instagram, like this post, share the post to your stories, and then tag your friend in the comments. Make sure as well you follow T Entrails and Extreme Energy UK. Gary, he will spin the wheel at midnight. It might not be at midnight, but he will spin the wheel on 30th of December 2025. This competition is for Instagram only, and one winner will be contacted by direct message in the new year. That is super generous of them to offer us that prize, and we love the bringing together of a guest and then their race, and then hopefully one lucky listener will be able to go and partake in the race, and then they're able to tell us all about it as well.
I love the sound of that race. I'm even thinking like, oh, is that a good little pre-Northern Traverse weekend away?
You'd have to. It would be fantastic. I've got a few athletes running in it, but it's a bit of a journey for you. But actually, I came over from France to do it once because I loved it so much, and there's no races in the Alps in February, and I had a great weekend.
It might clash with hard mowers. I need to double check.
I think stay in your lane, Thwaites.
My schedule.
Not your prize. Oh, top 5 this week. So,
Eddie, it was impossible. Impossible. It was hard to get a top.
Like it,
no, I did like it, but it was like hard to get a top 50, let alone top 5.
It was inspired by the poor child at home because I said, you choose what our top 5 is this week. So he came up with 5 best running tunes. And then you were like, I don't listen to music when I'm running. So I was like, well, you are low in the minority and maybe you should. And it would bring a bit more joy to
I'm going to fact check this, listeners. I said perfect and put a perfect emoji on the response. I'm pretty sure.
But then within a minute, you were like, I don't listen to music when I'm running. I'm like, well, you come up with it then. You do the top 5. Why do you ask me every week?
Your idea.
Bring a bit of creativity. It's always, just take.
Yeah, but the problem is, in the gym, I listen to music when I'm getting hench. But it's all metal. I don't think there's any value in that for our listeners.
Yes, but this is your personal choice. And I thought, like, why is anybody going to be interested in our personal choice? They might not be. They're probably not. That's fine. But I thought I would caveat that with what I've done in the last few months, which I love, is I set up my own Spotify. I call it Training Playlist. And every time I hear a song on the radio or I hear a tune, I'm like, oh, forgotten about that one. I love it. I instantly get out my Spotify and I add it to my training playlist, and it's now got like 20 out every single tune. To me, I know it's not to you, it's a banger. And then I'm doing all my training when I use music to this playlist, and then when it comes to the race as well, I shall put that playlist on and I shall remember those hours staring at my garage door and think, I can do hot. It's a comforting blanket as well. I know what tune comes next. I love it. Our vibes might not be your vibes. That's cool. We're all different vibes, but it might just inspire you to set yourself up for training this, to use a little bit. I get the best out of myself in a session with some music, Gary. Definitely do.
I went for a different tactic to you. I went from a song from a period of life.
Yes, I agree. That's what it brings something. And that's why you can't be the same for everybody, because it brings memories, it brings energy.
We were doom scrolling on the TV guide the other day and we saw, I think it was Top of the Pops from 1984. Literally every song, they did the countdown. It was John Peel and somebody else were the DJs. They did the top 50 countdown. I think 47 I could probably still sing today, the lyrics. It was absolutely incredible. Amazing. Bangers. Every one of them.
Bangers. Lower banger. Come on then, hit me with your bangers.
Okay, so this is not
songs.
This is not if I was doing a metal top 5, totally different. If I was doing a playlist for me personally, it would be totally different. But I thought I would try and do a playlist that maybe offered some value for somebody else out there. First one, and this goes back to when I really first memories of me owning.
I don't think we need an individual explanation for each song.
Music. Duran Duran, Planet Earth. I listened to it again last night, and immediately as soon as it started, it was just like, oh my God, this is incredible. Then we'd go straight into, most people would do Living on a Prayer with Bon Jovi.
It was on my list, couldn't quite keep it on there. It got bumped off, but it was definitely near there.
I Went Wild in the Streets, Bon Jovi. That has just got constant energy. Living on a Prayer is like wow, wow, wow. A bit slow. Wild in the Streets is like straight.
For somebody who didn't want to do the 5 songs, you're doing jolly well with your enthusiasm.
And keeping up that momentum, I couldn't go without putting some metal in there.
No.
It's not my favourite metal song, but Hangar 18 by Megadeth. It is just lightning quick and relentless. So metal was when I really found myself. I absolutely loved metal, my metal phase of my life. But then my fourth choice is Let Forever Be by the Chemical Brothers. That's when Lisa and I were getting together, really. That's a big memory.
Aww.
Chemical Brothers. And Let Forever Be. I think it's, is it Noel from Oasis? He's the vocalist on that one. They always used to get somebody famous to do a vocal on some of their bangers, and Let Forever Be is great. And then a current song, a current band. This was super tricky because I think, like a lot of people my age, you seem to exist in a little time capsule from when you were into music properly. So it was quite hard to. I don't work somewhere where maybe there's a radio on and you're being reintroduced, and I don't have work colleagues. So they're saying, oh, have you heard this, listen to that? You know what I mean?
But if I said, have you heard this? You'd be like, no, of course I haven't, Eddie.
One band that I do enjoy listening to, and this is the band that I went to see with Esme 2, was The Last Dinner Party, and their song Sinner, I think, completes my top 5.
I'm going to take out of those and put a couple into I'm going to put Wild and Streets, Bon Jovi, and I'm going to put I love a bit of Chemical Brothers. I'm going to let you have the other ones. Okay. But I like, perhaps people might even look those up as well. Because I thought, think about the songs, that remind you of something as well. Because also, if you're deep in the pain cave as well, it's great to pull you out of it, to go, this could not be more different. So initially, I wrote some classics, and then I scrapped that this morning because I did use my training playlist on my run this morning. And normally I don't listen to it on easy and recovery runs, but I treat myself. And a lot of these, you're going to go, these aren't great running tunes. That was the comment from my family, but you know what? I don't care. Goo Goo Dolls, Iris, you know that one?
I like that song. Yeah.
I like it. Now, Gabriel Zobo, Benino Morricano. You won't know that one. You know that one? You would.
Well, I know who he is. He's a composer, isn't he?
Yeah.
He does the See, this nearly went on my list. The Ecstasy of Gold, same dude. What a song.
Oh, it's so good. So good. And I love that running, and then the instrumental, and me picturing myself in some sort of Warner Brothers mega movie. Pink Pony Club, Chapel Roan. I have listened to this song I can't get enough of it. I don't know why I love it so much. Just love the tune. I love the sentiment of it. This is one I had to look up to see what it's called. Burning Down by Alex Warren. Really good tune. Really good lyrics. That is up there. And then my final one, which I've listened to, this must have been released when I was in my 20s. And again, lots of memories to this song, Somewhere Only We Know by Keane. Keane have disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Loved a bit of Keane.
He's probably like a famous producer now, isn't he? But very good band.
I think, again, you'd be like, I don't want to, that's not going to funk me up. Actually, I do like those songs that there's an even tone for it, a little bit of a deep. I love the music, lyrical of it, not just all. I wanted to put Robert Miles. Is it Children? That was number 6. Couldn't quite sneak that in. There's so
there could be a
much.
B-list.
Hey, if you set yourself anything, write up, get your Spotify training lists, get it going. And I reckon Northern Traverse, you want that, Gary. You want like 5 to 6 hours worth of music that you can, through the night, you can just put it in and it'll just be a background noise to your crying.
What about the songs that you culled?
Oh, I really wanted a bit of Scottish music in there, that obviously a big soundtrack to my life, and I didn't put any in there because I thought that is even more niche. There was a few musical songs, Gary. There was a few things that I was like, I share a lot on the podcast. I mean, I've shared a lot this week, but then I was like, I'm going to keep those couple to myself because I think people will think even lower of me.
I used to love, is it Example Kickstarts? That's a good song.
I'm really sorry. All the songs that you say, I just don't have a clue. You
River Marder, I Won't Nail.
Yeah. Okay, yes.
Oh my God, that is that's a lovely, because it's a love song, if I've interpreted the lyrics right. She's really into somebody, but she won't nail. That's such a great song.
Oh, I love it. If you set up your playlist on Spotify, it does suggestions as well. So if you go for one song, it will pull up like 20 others that are quite similar, and you will be guaranteed to go 3 or 4. Oh, yeah, that's a banger. Then my rule is, if I listen to it and I forward it, it gets deleted from the list. I'm like, okay, you don't really like that one. Take it out. It's a harsh world. Don't worry. I'm not deleting you from my list. See, you quite enjoyed that in the end, didn't you?
I did. I've got a list of 20 songs I have not even mentioned.
Get your playlist going and then you can just smash them all that.
But that ecstasy of gold, when you pull up at the gym, you just press play and it walks you through getting your shoes on, going through the turnstile, in the changing rooms, the energy builds and builds and builds. And then you get yourself on the squat rack. Bang.
just had images of you with just the bar and a couple of 5 kgs either side.
Yeah, I've got the 5. Just because Jane's Addiction. Oh, that's an incredible song. So many, Eddie. Too many. Anyway, what you got coming up? How does your week look?
Oh, not great. Let's just say Flexi Eddie's my term this week. There's nothing. I've made my plan, but who knows? Everything was cancelled. So who knows? I've got some runs in. Easy runs. Let's just see. Kids are doing markathon. We were enjoying that. Out with our little head torches, bobbing around. That is really super fun. Trying to have a lean, mean Christmas.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, because the kids get a lot with all their sporting equipment and stuff. So we don't do like a big present. But then it's really hard when kids are older to get a present that they actually, wow, what do they need? And like they're a little bit they're a bit like, yeah, whatever, mum. Like, just send me the link. So I've got to start my Christmas shopping. I will just go with the flow this week, whatever happens. What about you?
My week is a bit of a rinse and repeat, but I don't think I will do the 5 times 4 minutes elevation. I think I'll just do that flat on the treadmill. I don't need to be specific. I don't think just yet.
Be specific. Ooh.
And I get enough elevation. Like the one thing I do like on the Alban app is they give you a ratio of your elevation per mileage compared to your key event that you got coming up. Mm-hmm. And without any real thought, I seem to be pretty close to those ratios. But there's a bit of devil in the detail. Obviously, the Lake District section of that race is pretty brutal compared to the rest of it. So I probably won't completely neglect those mountains. Thirsty Thursday, Christmas drinks on Saturday. I'm already stressing because I'm pretty sure there's not going to be much, if any, running at all on Sunday.
I'm going to message you at 6 a.m. Morning!
Sad times. Should be good though. We don't, bloody hell, we like literally go out once a year, so I've just got
That's why it's so dangerous. Is there any girls in the Thursday crew? Is it just you middle-aged men?
I think the girls are going out.
Disgusting.
I think Lisa's part of some running girls WhatsApp group.
Oh God, women. Why are they not in the kitchen?
I know. Unbelievable. Shocking.
Should be prepping for Christmas, peeling those chestnuts.
I've had sprouts 3 times already.
I love it when sprouts come back in this. I'm a big sprout fan. I put them in everything.
I had a festive pie. That had sprouts in it. It was incredible.
I love it. Do they give you the brrr?
Anything. Man of my age and my sensitive belly, anything turns into wind. I love a sprout. Oh, my goodness me. I had sprouts last night.
When is the age? There's been no scientific study of this. When is the age when I say to my kids, you've got to have 1 sprout with your Christmas lunch? And then when is the age you become when you're like, I love sprouts?
Addicted. When George is up to 4 sprouts, you'd be happy to.
Oh, okay. So I see the years go on. So I see, okay, the older one.
But then I just get a pile of sprouts. I'm not complaining.
No, I love it. So I could just have that.
I had about 50
sauce.
last night.
Oh, Gary. God.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't sleep that well. That's what it was. That's exactly why I didn't sleep that well. A plate of sprouts.
Thanks for tuning in. We love you. We love you for listening. Share the pod. Share the love. Pop over to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe, or even consider 2026 being the year you become a Patreon. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running, and Protein Rebel for sponsoring our show. Here's the discount codes: T10 2025 for Shocks, T15 for Protein Rebel, T-Time 2025 for Precision Fuel Hydration, and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thank you to our partners and patrons. We could not and would not do this without your ongoing support.
Shocks mega discount continues. Massive savings to be had over at Shocks. If you're in the market for some new headphones or maybe gift for that special runner in your life, then now is the time to pounce. Sad times though, I don't think you can double discount. Good luck to everybody out on the trails, racing, training, recce's or solo miles or miles with mates. Pretty sure it's Valencia Marathon this weekend.
It is. We've got some speedy legs over there.
If I've got all the dates correct, if you break the world record, either that's Speedy, your athletes, €1,000,000.
Check in with her. We're going fast. I'll ask her to take another gel. She loves the Precision Hydration gel. 75,000. What is this, euros? Yeah, for the win.
Yeah, 75 for the win, and all the way down to 12th, you could still come away with €2,000.
That's not very much, is it? An international marathon, €2,000.
Yeah, when the money in road running, I'm just comparing it to literally, I think, think I can only think of probably 2 or 3 races you physically win any money in trail running. So it's just staggering, the comparison. Like, even if you win UTMB, it can't be a job unless you're sponsored too, or an influencer, crushing it that way. Let the trail or tarmac rise to meet you, and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to future self, breathe and believe, roll with the joy, and the miles will look after themselves. And if all else fails, chase the ball. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was the Tea and Trails podcast.